Welcome. In some denominations, you'd make a trip to the pastor's study for answers to the really tough questions. Well, let's see what we can do here. I meet, blessed be. Welcome to another session in a very different pastor's study. Work has been going on, and a lot of stuff I've been talking about between this and the Secrets in Plain Sight and Church Back Home. Yeah. Well, things are going to start showing up. One you're looking at right now. I did some upgrades to the camera, and things might look a little bit different. Plus, the camera has a lot more capacity. Capacity, yes. In other words, it's got more memory. I'm still getting used to the idea that tape is not what it does anymore. That was a couple of cameras ago. And I'm rather enjoying what I can see this thing do. And I built some stuff upstairs that you may see eventually. I don't know. They're primarily for my own private prayers and spiritual work. And one thing that you won't see on Church Back Home, but you'll see the results of it, I hope. And that comes from this. It's called paracord. And what I'm going to be doing is, you've seen that backdrop. You saw how it used to be a nice backdrop, and then you saw how it got to be a torn up looking backdrop, and then it was a nice and even backdrop, but it was a little bit too high. Well, what I'm going to try to do is set up some sort of a rigging to lift it up when I'm not using it. Maybe not all the way to the ceiling, but up enough so that the youngest of our family doesn't feel like jumping up at it and going at it with her claws. Yeah. We're talking about Claire, the little one that I brought in from Hurricane Sandy, who's grown up into a beautiful young lady and a loving and adorable kitten, has turned into a loving and adorable cat, but she still is feisty. Comes partly from the first year of her life being out on the streets, having to fend for herself ever since her mother set her on her own. Yeah, I think I know who her mother is too. Which would be part of the reason why she came here with such a sense of purpose. Because her mother had known us for many years. If that's who her mother is. We haven't seen her in a while. But have Claire be welcome here and at the same time not have to say nasty words. And yes, the first test of this camera was my assistant producer, Yuengling. And let's see if I can get his picture to flash on here. You can see that he had an interest in while we were doing it. And he's very much enthused about all that's going on. As a matter of fact, most of the time that I'm working in here, he's watching. And he's right here next with me. So, right now, sounds like he and Veronica and Caradwin are upstairs busy with something, so nope, he's not out there. Otherwise, I'd have him come up here and take a bow. Some of you may remember times that I've done that. But anyway, why am I talking about all this? Last week in the Secrets in Plain Sight, I was talking about how things are being made to apply, and you get to a point where you see the principles of the craft in everything you do. And there we are. Is a glass half full? Is a glass half empty? What am I going to do about a cat who tears out my backdrop? Well, get the backdrop out of her way one way or another. And how do you do that? Well, remember those big square-rigged sailing ships that used to reef up their sails? Not going to do the same thing exactly, but it's based on that. And you'll see that in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, applying the principles. Is it half full? Is it half empty? Or is there another answer like it's the right amount of liquid, the glass is twice as big as it needs to be? And so we move forward. I'm Aidan. Merry part, merry meet again. Blessed be. See you next week. This has been a presentation of the Wise Ones Net. Merry part and blessed be.